All right. Things appear to be on live now. I'm always getting something that doesn't appear to be correct. Okay, so it says the mic is working and it says I'm on live. So, yes, we're now working. So, my name is Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, and I am the originator of the Clear Blue Radiance podcast here for Resident Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I normally come on live every Thursday. I try to do it at 1 o'clock. Tried to do it at 1:15, and the audio wasn't working, even though everything is plugged in. I'm also doing a recording, a pre-recording for TikTok at the same time, so that some of my TikTok viewers that hear my uploaded material, and this will be one of them, they will see how I do a podcast. Now, I'm on this podcast live right now. It is 1:21 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We have someone already that is rejoined. Today's topic is going to be Decree and It Shall Be, a creatively powerful way of impacting and blessing yourself and your life. And I'm going to bring in one of my books that I wrote, which was called Decree and It Shall Be, Speak as I Am, to pull some material from there as well. Well, those of you that are in the audience, thank you, Barbara. Those of you that are in the audience know that I've been a spiritual counselor for over 40 plus years, and I enjoy helping many people gain greater clarity and find or redefine their purpose. And our purpose changes as we evolve. And so, your purpose doesn't remain the same. As you grow, expand your awareness, your vision, your inner sight, you expand your heart, you eventually become more grounded and you get to understand, what you're here to do or what you should be doing. Many of us are, weaving, riding on a winding road called life. And sometimes we have a chance to express clearly our heart's desires, our deep rooted spiritual desires. And sometimes we don't get that opportunity. So, today's topic is derived from a book that I wrote in 2019 called Decree and It Shall Be. And I like to bring forth material that not only I have experienced, but I also understand other people experience at least every day. So it's material and insight and remedies that you could use to incorporate right away in your own life. And I like to, share that as much as I can. So, this particular topic, and I've done, I don't know how many, almost 700 and not 700. I've done, yeah, I've done over 700 perhaps since 2006 as a podcaster, being whether I'm here on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio or Ustream, Livestream, Justin TV, all of these social media platforms, okay? But here for Resident Essentials, Esoteric School of Metaphysics on their YouTube channel, I've done maybe close to 180 podcasts. So this is something that gives people information that they can use right away. So one of the things is our words influence ourselves and our lives, as well as the people we may touch on a regular basis. But most of the time, we're in communication, whether it's family, friends, neighbors, co workers, employees. If you work for yourself and people are underneath you, you're always doing some form of communication and you're trying to get your point across. And many times with your coworkers, your neighbors that you're close with, family members, and friends, you start sharing, thoughts and ideas and experiences that have somehow impacted your life, influenced the way you think, the way you do things, the way you speak sometimes. And so, one of the things that's very interesting that popped up in my mind was something that Deepak Chopra said many years ago, I believe in one of his books, Timeless Mind, Timeless Era, something of that effect. And I'm just going to paraphrase what his thought or idea was. This is Deepak Chopra. He said, your negative thought becomes a negative prayer. A negative thought becomes a negative prayer. So, thus, whatever negative thoughts you are silently saying to yourself or even speaking out loud, you are only telling the universe to bring you more of the same. So, it's like when you find yourself complaining that this is not happening, my job's falling apart. And give you a perfect example. I think I had a client many, many years ago, 10 years ago, when I've been here 13. So yeah, about 10 years ago, I just moved here and I had a client at the time who was complaining. Now, this person, mind you, had a healthy three-figure income. I mean, really healthy three-figure income. She had just about everything and that you can imagine. She owned several houses. She owned several cars. She was able to lease out one house to a tenant or two. And she was always complaining all the time, to the point that she started manifesting more of the same thing to complain about, because all she did was think about it, talk about it, and feel how down and ugly to her life was. She didn't understand that that train of thought laid out into the ethers around herself was really magnetizing herself to draw more of the same kind of experiences to herself. And it took a long time for me to tell her that she had to learn how to stop doing that. And what happened, she really didn't stop. She just kept going and going and going until 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the line, it occurred to her that she was attracting similar situations, similar personalities, because that's the seed she kept planting into her auric field, into her heart, into her subconscious mind, into the universe. So it took her a while to see that she was creating the picture, the atmosphere for these things to take place. And that's why I kind of agree that your negative thoughts becomes a negative reality, a negative prayer, because you're constantly putting it out. And what we don't realize is we are, without verbalizing, we have thoughts all the time. The ones that have more weight are the ones that we attach our emotions to, how we feel about what we are thinking about. And sometimes we're replaying the same scenario over and over, and we're adding more fuel to the flames. Our fuel is our emotions, how we actually truly feel. And sometimes we don't understand it's the deep, deep, deep part of ourselves where we have all of these emotions stirring around. We have remembrances, experiences that these things are there because we didn't realize brick by brick, word by word, phrase by phrase, sentence by sentence, emotional input, like taking a shot in the arm for the flu. We were constantly adding on, not realizing we're telling the universe, send me more. Because the universe is really responding to the simplified thought, but greatly through the emotional energy, which is more magnetic. And so everything can be seen in imagery or felt like in sound. So, our words coupled with our emotions create the precipitation needed for manifestations to happen in our lives. And we don't realize that we're constructing it even when we're thinking in a negative way. We often do not realize that continued and constant repetitive focus on whatever has not occurred for us is what the universe will send back, will reflect back like a mirror for us to experience. This is very important to understand because we're doing it all the time. This is why we should monitor what we are thinking and saying before we carry out those thoughts. Now, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Many of us, I know, including myself, will start a project sometimes and my mind goes over to something else because I remember something else I was supposed to do before I started that project. And next thing you know, I got a pile of stuff of unfinished projects. But I've gotten smarter with myself over the years. I put them in a box, you see, and I don't let that box overflow. I don't even let the box come up with ideas to the rim. I'm in there checking those ideas. Is the project valid? If it's something, is it something that's going to help somebody? Is that project not only going to help somebody, but will it help more somebodies? So I have to review things all the time. And all of us have to do these things. But what we have to learn how to do is correct ourselves before we decide to act on our thoughts and feelings, which can reverse our behaviors. If we watch what we think, watch what we say, change the way we think, change the way we feel, then our behavioral responses will look different, will feel different, because we're making proper and better decisions for ourselves that are more correct. And this is important. These are the same things we suggest to younger people, especially children, since they are the most receptive, right? Children are going to listen to you. Children are going to mimic whatever you're doing. I remember a friend from college. He's still around. We're about the same age. And he and his wife, they met in college. We all went to the same college together. And they got married actually in their end of their junior year, going toward their senior year. And eventually he had a little boy named after himself. And then 1 or 2 years later, a daughter. In fact, the son was born on, I believe, May 23rd, 1976, because he's like 2 years older than his wife. And it's amazing, you know. But the interesting thing was, a little boy looked just like him, just like him. And the daughter looked just like the mother. But the interesting factor was, he was at that time a salesman, and he was selling products for Goya there in up in the Bronx, and he was doing quite well. He bought a small warehouse, could store all the goods there. He owned two vans, you know, and they had their own family car. So they were doing a lot. And then after that, he branched into extermination uh, business, and from there, he was laying carpets and tiles and floors in New York City, down in Manhattan. But here's the thing that was very interesting. He would come home every day and greet his son. Now, the daughter wasn't born yet. He would come home every day, according to his wife, and he would greet his son and he would go, "What's up, little?" He would say those things every day to his son. "Come here, you little." And he thought it was funny. Well, his wife was much smarter. She was saying, "Hey, What's going to happen is you're going to tell him, our son, that it's okay for him to use those expletives. And now he's got a whole arsenal of them. Now that he can form words and he thinks very quickly and he wants to be like his dada, he's going to say exactly what his father has told him. And that's what his wife was saying. Hey, you got to like reverse this. Because one day you're going to want to bring, your sales team home, or your boss. He didn't think nothing of it and he kept doing it. Forgot about it, and about 6, 7, 8 months later, the boss tells him, "Hey, I'm going to give you a raise because, your team is selling and you are doing great." He said, "Well, why don't you come over and have dinner with me and my wife?" And the guy said, "Okay." Well, I'm married. It's, yeah, bring your wife. Have your wife come over. I want you to meet my wife and my little son. So, he tells the wife in about 2 or 3 days before this happens. And the gentleman comes over with the wife. Had to get a little water. And he goes back and he gets his son out of the bedroom. Come on, little Miguelito, little Mike. I want you to meet somebody that's important. Yes, daddy comes out. Right? At this time, the son is already a good 5 years of age. So he can walk and he can talk clearly. And he says, Mr. So and so, this is my son, Miguelito. Miguelito says, "What's up?" He repeats exactly what his father used to tell him many years ago. It was ingrained in him to say that to his boss, not knowing he said something incorrectly, inappropriately. And of course, the father flushed, the mother flushed. The boss just looked at his wife and looked at him and relieved him, of that embarrassment by saying, "Hey, don't worry about it. I used to say the same thing to my kids on some level, not understanding that their minds are like vacuum cleaners and computers and recorders. And they're going to suck up all of that and then display it one day. So don't worry about it." Of course, they began to laugh because the boss's wife said the same exact thing that my friend's wife had been telling him for years, to stop doing that. So I say that because words paint a picture. Words that we speak are always painting a picture. And we have to be careful because children are what? The most receptive at a very young age to the words and the emotions embedded in the words. So now this is why we have to understand that positive words enforce positive actions, leading toward positive results. At least that should be the basic formula. We use our words and our faith with self confidence to paint a new picture of our lives. Well, we got to paint a new picture of ourselves first, and then we put ourselves in life, in the journey called life, and we strive to paint positive realities for ourselves. It's quite obviously that we're always thinking. You think about it. I'm using the word think again, but you let that marinate. You probably think more than you are feeling. And you probably think and feel more about what you're thinking than when you are speaking it out loud. So our thoughts, along with our emotions, the thoughts are outgoing, the emotions are incoming. Thoughts are outgoing, collecting information, collecting similar thoughts, and the emotions are pulling them back into us, into the real us. And so we don't often get it, and we have to learn how to pay attention to that, what we're thinking. And don't let our thoughts run away from us. And a lot of people have what, ADHD, people being autistic, people having, I don't know if Asperger's fits into that spectrum or not, but for sure, a person has low self esteem, doesn't love themselves, always sabotaging themselves with how they feel, how they really feel about themselves. And then they describe that element about themselves into their surroundings. They're constantly planting seeds and not realizing that they are creating their own future. We don't realize that when we're doing that, we're actually telling somebody else this is how we want to be treated. So we have to really begin to think. Good morning, Melanie. It's morning for Melanie because she's in Australia. Okay. There she goes. Hearts went up. Hearts went up. So I'm glad you made it. I'm not signing off yet. My throat is okay, but I'm going to talk a little more with this topic that I've decided to employ. So one of the things we need to pay attention to is how do we really feel? Because many times in our waking state, day to day battle in life or day to day fun journey in life, we have some deep rooted feelings based on some deep rooted, stored away thoughts and experiences that we've had in our lives. Right now, all of us, if you're on the planet and you are in your 20s and your 30s, you have had over 10,000 thoughts and experiences and feelings that go along with those thoughts impacting you all the time. And this is why it's not good to go to sleep with a TV set on, because that's more stuff impacting and influencing your thoughts and your feelings and what you think about yourself. So it's very important to pay attention to whatever we're thinking, because if we're not, and we tie our emotions with it, that what creates the precipitation in the auric field and the atmosphere around us, and it starts drawing that same thought and that same feeling. Because for all the universe knows, like your subconscious self, you probably want it because you talk about it all the time. So I'm going to show you it's present in you all the time. So we have to kind of change up a little bit. We got to turn things around as quick as we can because there's more coming. There's more stuff coming to us all the time. Even when we are sound asleep and in that other world where that's the true reality, the dream world, we're being bombarded with our own thoughts, our own feelings, and then other people's thoughts and feelings about us and how they want to remember us. There's many times you see somebody you haven't seen in a long time, and the first thing out of their mouth is, because if they got an audience with them, they're going to talk about the times when you didn't appear to be so great to them. Why? Because they want to tear you down. So you're going to run across people that will do that. They could be one time friends from long ago, they could be family members that do it, but they're going to do it. And so it is up to us to begin to change our outlook. This is why the word forgiveness has been coming up for the past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. Learn to love yourself more, learn to forgive yourself. for getting you letting yourself be involved with various people, companies, relatives, friends, neighbors who don't have often your best interests at heart. So if we want to have a more positive experience, we have to change everything. Neil Donald Walsh, the guy that wrote the book Conversations with God, he wrote a book that I had from a long time ago. Um, After that book, and he says when everything changes, that means everything around you, partnership, friendships, business relationships, how you get along with your neighbors, and everything else that you can imagine. When things change everything. In other words, change how you respond, how change how you communicate your thoughts and feelings and ideas and views with other people. Because if you don't change, then you get stuck. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to get stuck. You want to be able to move on. You want to have more success happening in your life. And when you're thinking more positively about yourself, you start to draw in and attract magnetically through the emotions positive people, positive relationships with friends, business people, co workers, with your neighbors, with stores you go in and out of. I always say I go in and out of stores. It kind of reminds me of the old TV show Cheers, where you had the mailman. He wasn't actually sure of himself. Then you had the bar owner that was played, I think, by Ted Danson, and then you had this woman that played like his girlfriend. And sometimes she wasn't sure of herself. But there was a guy that walked in, and his character's name was Norm, and everybody knew Norm. So when Norm came in, everybody would stop what they're doing and go, "Hey, Norm!" Because and you think of it, norm. It's normal to have connections with people. It's normal to sometimes have a life that's going up and down like a roller coaster, and then you figure it out. And then you're uphill, then now you're on the top looking down. Not down at anyone, but remembering how you got to the top in your life, how you became more successful in your life. And so, thinking positively and beginning to feel more positive about yourself allows you to believe in yourself that you can have a much better life happening for yourself. Now you start drawing in positive people, positive opportunities with ease. And the more we become capable of successfully doing this, then the easier it becomes. Then it feels like you got a shortcut. And we do it with absolute faith and confidence while doing what? Rebuilding our self esteem, raising your consciousness to higher consciousness, higher truth, more eternal than you can imagine, thinking about a better life for yourself more than you can imagine, and at the same time, forgiving yourself for all that stuff that you put yourself through. All those times you didn't have the confidence nor faith to say, no, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to go in that direction. No, I'm not going to take up all my time, give you all my time, and then you don't give me anything back in return. We learn this stuff every day, and we have to learn to implement something new every day or week to week that creates a brighter future so we can begin to reap the benefits of all that we are doing. And that's why I'm bringing this book in, Decree and It Shall Be, Speak As I Am. I wrote this book in 2019 and put it up there on Amazon. And so this book is loaded with affirmations, decrees, and you have to learn how to use them together. When you learn how to put them together, then you start changing the frequency of your life. Sometimes you should learn how to use what is called an affirmative prayer. And that's important. When you can use an affirmative prayer, you also help change your outcome. Like an affirmative prayer is like in this book, The Five Vessels. You have affirmations, prayers, affirmative prayers, decrees, and then you meditate, drawing that energy up and down. So, one of the things with an affirmative prayer is your first and foremost thing is you're acknowledging that which is you see as the creator of all in your own life. The second step, you state your awareness of your connection to that divine source. Third, you state the problem, but you make the problem as something that has been already corrected. And then you acknowledge it and put all that emotional positive energy in it. And then the fifth step, you let it go like a balloon out into the ethers. You have affirmations. Affirmations are some of the greatest ways to create building blocks in your life for greater success. And so I'm going to put a few affirmations here because I'm also recording myself that's pre recorded for my TikTok channel, which is I'm Pyramid One Sun over there. Pyramid One Sun. So affirmations are something that we use. It's a truth that we already know that exists. And we're just hammering that truth into our consciousness and into our emotional bed, our feeling part of ourselves. So, what is important about this affirmation is that when you're using an affirmation, it's designed to not just clarify a situation, but to make your situation stronger, have a much better foundation. So, I'm going to give you a few affirmations. These are like one liners. I affirm each and every day that I am healthy, happy, and grateful. I affirm that I am living in harmony and my life overflows with prosperity, abundance, and the goodness of life. Now, sometimes when you write an affirmation and then you say it, use the periods at ends of each of your sentence, a period, to use to pause in, to create a little sacred space where you could feel those words go from you and come back to you. Here's another. I affirm that I live my life with greater sense of purpose. I have come to the realization that I am one with divine source. I affirm this truth. You're accepting that this truth exists because has existed before, and you are what? Aware of this. Each morning that I awaken from a deep sleep, I affirm that I am whole and complete. There's no flaws, no cracks in your consciousness, no holes in your armor, which is your auric field. Everything is whole and complete. Everything is sturdy, everything is strong. But guess what? You're also humble at the same time. And you're overflowing in that space in the heart out into the universe with unconditional love. That's why I wrote this other book that way, the pink looking cover. That's called Radiant Heart. Seven amazing pathways to do what? Connect, activate, and communicate with your higher self. We have to learn that our words are very, very powerful. And if we speak with self confidence, if we speak with faith in ourselves, that what we are saying is true for ourselves and have the emotional charge behind it, it's going to what? Precipitate in your auric field. It's going to go out beyond your auric field. and it's going to seek everything that is like it. Positive thoughts will find positive thoughts. Positive emotions will find positive emotions. Positive actions will find more of the same. Positive outcome and results will find each other so that you can experience more of the same. Here's another one. I'm feeling great, joy, and I affirm that I am joyful every day of my life. So when you're going through difficulties, you're thinking, "Oh boy, I can't. There's no way in the world I can do this." Well, watch those emotions that go behind the words, because usually you've had those emotions stored up for a very long time, and they will come out like a seeking missile. They will come out and hit the target. But just as the emotions behind the words hit the target, it's going to ricochet back on yourself. So, I want to read something from this book. And, when you're using journals or you're writing your own prayers or using your own affirmative prayers, is what you should be doing. You don't have to necessarily take it from a book, just create your own. Here's an affirmation for personal power. People are always seeking power, right? But we don't know where the power comes from. We could have the potentiality for power, but power is the result of force or spirit. Power, see, we don't see the force. What's the Star Wars movie? Let the force be with you. That's what the Yoda said. Let the force be with you. So guess what? The force is spirit. It's always with you. The higher self is always with you. You just have to start feeling it around you, feeling it in you. Then it makes what? More sense. So here's some affirmations for personal power. Uh, there's going to be a point where I'm going to say I. I is not me. I means you import your name right there. So I'm going to say I, and you're going to say your name to yourself. And then you're going to hear me say the word affirm. Okay. And this is how you build the power with yourself, the power of the spoken word from you. I, say your name to yourself. Affirm that the presence of infinite divine source dwells in me right now. I live in total oneness with this truth. Two, I, say your name. Affirm that I remain in direct alignment with infinite divine source in every moment of my life. I embrace the truth of its presence right now. Here's another one. I, say your name. Affirm that I have a direct connection with my cells throughout my body, and my communication is quite clear with every cell. I send them unconditional love, and they reciprocate the same to me. The creator of all life dwells in me. The breath is holy and divine. I, say your name, know we are one. I affirm this truth lives in me now and forever. The Creator is my unfailing supply. I, say your name again, affirm that I am prospering abundantly in every area of my life. Now, once you understand what an affirmation is and what it does for you, you can omit the word affirm because you're going to feel that as being truth to you anyway. So here are a couple of phrases where I don't even put the word affirm, but I may use affirmation or something else. Starting right now, you don't even have to say your name. The beauty of nature is a living affirmation of Mother Earth as it exudes a supreme palette of life in many organic forms. The simple yet complex beauty of Mother Nature brings forth joy, harmony, beauty, and peace. I see this and more within me. And remember, a period is used in your mind, in yourself, to pause so you can reflect on the energy of the words. As the presence of divine source, as God in me, or divine mother in me, if you want to say, I radiate the beauty, harmony, and unconditional love as my true nature of oneness. Every thought and feeling that I have flows from the divine presence through me now. I lack nothing because I have become a magnet for prosperity, better health, wellness, and goodness in my life. I live an abundant life with harmonic peace. I am truly grateful for my life, family, friends, and life's opportunities to fulfill my destiny. My heart expands with the total awareness that I am loved. I love all people, and all people love me. Good things are multiplying in my life daily with good measure. I open my heart wide to embrace uncommon and infinite blessings of goodness. My life is overflowing with more love, joy, laughter, and new experiences. I feel the goodness in all beings, seen and unseen. I feed my cells the nutrients of positive thoughts, feelings, unconditional love, peace, and the willingness to listen to how they express the divinity within them. And so shall it be. So, to my TikTok crowd, this is a pre recorded video for today, October 10th, 2024. So, I'm going to sign off as Pyramid One's son, better known as Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. Whew, finally got something I can upload. People said, give me something to learn. So, they got something to learn. Anyway, if you like today's program, give me a shout out and say, yay, I did. If you have any questions, put them in the chat now, or any comments, put them in the chat now. I got another 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm up and out of here to do some things, and then I'm going to come back and catch some sleep because I haven't slept. Well, I did. I did sleep. I caught about 5 hours, but I can use some more. There she goes, Indigo Moon. How are you doing? Indigo Moon, and I think Barbara took this course not too long ago. The Decree course, which was called the 5 Point Creative Pathwork Meditation Series. Well, not really like that. 5 Point Creative Pathwork System. That's it. Yeah, and everybody got a lot of out. I've taught it numerous times since the book came out in 2019, 2020. So I'm going to go back and teach it again. Maybe I'll do some workshops because that's good to do. Do some workshops on my different books. Yes, there she is. Barbara Ewing. Yay! I had a great time teaching today, and this is always something good to do. I didn't run outside and watch the balloons. And when I didn't go out, I went out into the little lobby area on my top floor, and I see all these balloons coming over the apartment. So, like, really? I was out there yesterday, couldn't catch anybody going over my head. But we have a few more days left, and it'll be over on Sunday. So I'll more than likely get out tomorrow morning early and catch some balloons before everything is over. Anyway, thank you for your time tuning in today. I had some fun putting this out here. Decree and it shall be. What was the title? Decree and it shall be, a creatively powerful way of impacting and blessing yourself and your life. Hopefully, I should be back here next Thursday, maybe at 1 o'clock or 1:15 p.m. Just in case I'm running a little late. Anything can happen. I look forward to sharing more insight and information with you. I love you all unconditionally. Love you, Melanie Hall, Barbara Ewing, Indigo Moon, and there's some more people that was hidden in here. They didn't say anything, but they popped on through anyhow. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, uh, and I will see you all real soon. Have a great day wherever you are in the world. A better day, and may it be overflowing with the remembrances of divine grace. May it cause you to prosper wholly. May you become more complete, but may you remain infinite. May you remain blessed abundantly with greater wisdom that is eternal and divine. Might as well keep going. I affirm and I see and decree that all things are going to work out better for you on your behalf. Why? Because you deserve the best. And as Reverend Ike said, why wait for your pie in the sky with your ice cream when you can have it right now? When you can be, do, and have. Well, until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. My grace is your grace. I look forward to seeing you really soon. And if you need to email me at iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. You can also send me a text message through my cell phone number 505-220-2583. I think I'm on WhatsApp. You can find me in there as well. Well, take care of yourself. Have a powerful, blessed, magical, positive day, and let you prosper wildly. Bye now.